Hello, and thank you for attending today's webinar as a part of the Graduate Open House Week for Financial Aid. My name is Will Brooks. I'm joined today with Kathy Berganza, who's our scholarship manager and also a member of our graduate and professional programs team in the Financial Aid office. We will be presenting basic information about LMU Financial Aid over the next 20 minutes. During the presentation, you're welcome to ask questions using the Q&A function on your device, and Kathy will answer those questions. We'll save some questions for the end of the presentation, and we'll answer any questions that you have available during that time. But as the presentation goes on, the only opportunity you'll have to ask questions is using the Q&A function on your device. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's topics will cover a range of items about financial aid, including the definition of financial aid, how to apply for financial aid, different types of aid, how cost of attendance works, then we'll conclude with some helpful tips, and we'll also provide you our contact information just in case you need to follow up with any additional information from our office about financial aid. So first, the definition of financial aid. So financial aid essentially is money to help students pay for college. It comes in the form of grants, work study, loans, and scholarships, and basically is to offset the costs of attending at school. Financial aid can come from a variety of sources, including the federal government, state government, the school itself, and from private sources. Applying for LMU is a fairly simple process. The only thing that we require is for students to complete the FAFSA, or the free application for federal student aid. That information is available at studentaid.gov. In order to complete a FAFSA, you have to first sign up or create a FSA ID, which is a username and password, in order to sign your FAFSA form electronically. The FAFSA will ask for your income information from 2019 and basically information from your 2019 tax return. If you did not file taxes for income earned in 2019, you will also be available or eligible to complete the FAFSA based off of whatever income you may have earned and complete it, and that information will be used to determine your financial aid eligibility for awards. Students have to reapply for financial aid each year. So this is an annual process that you will have to go through in order to be eligible for financial aid. One of the items that's requested while completing the FAFSA is a list of the schools that you want the information transferred to. LMU, or the schools that are listed by a school code number. LMU school code is 001234. So it's very easy to remember. School code 001234. When you're applying for the FAFSA and you're indicating the schools, make sure to remember that number in order to select LMU to receive your financial aid information. In addition to completing the FAFSA, graduate students also are eligible to complete their department's scholarship application, which is available on our website, which is financialaid.lmu.edu. I'll explain a little bit more about the department scholarship information a little bit later in this presentation, but you want to check with your college for information about particular scholarships or grant offers that the college may be able to provide. Basic aid eligibility requires that a student has to be a U.S. citizen or an eligible non-citizen, and that information is available on our website of who constitutes as an eligible non-citizen. You have to have a valid Social Security number with the exceptions listed on the screen from those locations. If you're a male, you have to be registered for the Selective Service. It's a requirement from the federal government. You have to be enrolled in a degree eligible program or a non-degree credential program. You have to be enrolled at least half-time status to receive financial aid. For graduate students, half-time status for graduate students seeking a degree is 3 units. For non-degree credential students, half-time status is considered at 6 units. And then you also have to maintain satisfactory academic progress, which means that you have to meet a GPA requirement and a number of complete units per year in order to be eligible for financial aid. Financial aid basically breaks down into 3 award types for graduate students. That includes gift aid, which is free money from college, university, federal government, or state government that doesn't have to be repaid. There's also loans, which is money that you're borrowing that has to be repaid and usually has to be repaid with interest. And then there's opportunities for work, which is work programs for college is basically a work to earn program. So you have to work for a job either on or off campus and you will earn funds that you can use to pay for the college expenses or for your own personal expenses. The money is paid directly to you. We'll now start to break down the different types of aid that would be available for you as a graduate student. So first we'll talk about grants and scholarships that are available. The federal government offers one primary program for grants for graduate students, which is the federal Teach Grant. The Teach Grant program provides a grant of up to $4,000 per year for students who are completing or plan to complete coursework and begin a career in teaching. In order to receive the Teach Grant, you also have to complete what's called the Teach Grant Agreement to Serve, which you basically are confirming that you plan to teach after you've completed your teaching credential programs. You have to meet you have to meet all three of the requirements that are listed on the screen for the Teach Grant Agree to Serve program. You have to work in a high need field. You have to work at an elementary or secondary school that serves students from low income families. You also have to work for 4 complete academic years within an 8-year period after completing your course of study. So within the 8 years after you've completed your graduate program, you have to at least work for 4 years in the 2 items that are listed above, the high need field and working for an elementary school or secondary school that serves low income families. The Teach Grant Agreement information is available at studentaid.gov. The Teach Grant is unique in that the grant is a grant, it's free money as long as you meet the requirements. If you do not meet the requirements for the Teach Grant, the grant is converted into a direct unsubsidized loan. And I'll explain how the direct unsubsidized loan program works in a few slides. Next, there's the California State Grant Program. And the California State Grant programs are also for teachers. The California Grant TCP, or the Teaching Credential Program, is available for students who were undergraduates who received a Cal Grant A or B within the last 15 months before enrolling in a teaching credential program at LMU. So you have to have received a Cal Grant A or B while you were an undergraduate student, and it has to be within the last 15 months from when you start your teaching credential program from when you graduated with your bachelor's degree as an undergraduate. In order to be eligible for the California Teaching Credential Program, you have to complete Form G44, which is a requirement from the California Student Aid Commission, which manages the California grant programs. You are eligible to receive a Cal Grant, the same amount of a Cal Grant that undergraduate students will receive, which at LMU is $9,084 for an additional year. So you get a Cal Grant for 1 additional year. You have to also complete the FAFSA in order to be eligible for the Cal Grant Teaching Credential Program. In addition to the Cal Grant TCP, the state also offers the Golden State Teacher Grant Program, which is a one-time award of up to $20,000. This is for students who are currently enrolled in a teaching preparation program to earn a credential in special education. Information and the application for that program is available on the website listed, gstg.csac.ca.gov. In addition to the grant programs available from the federal government and the state government, there are also university-based grants. Those are available and awarded, as I mentioned earlier, from the actual college that you're planning to enroll in. The applications are available on our website at financialaid.lmu.edu/graduate/types of programs. But if you basically look up the graduate information on the financial aid website, you should be able to find the applications that are available for you to apply for grants and scholarships directly from your college. And then lastly, we also recommend students to apply for outside scholarships from other agencies that will be able to help pay for your college expenses. 3 of the recommended ones that we have listed on our website and we have listed on this slide are fastweb.com, schoolsoup.com, and collegenet.com. Those are websites that have been used by many colleges in the United States and are reputable scholarship websites. We do warn students to be cautious whenever you're applying for outside scholarships. Do not pay for any services that will promise a guarantee that you will receive scholarships if you give them a certain fee. We do not recommend students to utilize any of those types of services. Next, we'll talk about loan programs. So the primary loan programs for graduate students are the federal direct loan programs. There are two main loan programs for federal direct loans. There's the unsubsidized loan, which is similar to the unsubsidized loan program that's available for undergraduate students. It's available to degree-seeking graduate students and to non-degree credential students. Degree-seeking students can borrow up to $20,500 for the academic year. Non-degree credential-seeking students can borrow up to $12,500. There's no credit check for the unsubsidized loan. The current year interest rate for the unsubsidized loan is 4.3%, and there's a loan fee of a little over 1% that's charged to the loan. Interest rates for the loans change every year on July 1st. The interest begins accruing on the date that the loan is first dispersed to your student account to basically pay for your expenses, which is typically 10 days before the start of the fall semester and right before the start of the spring semester. So as soon as school starts, your loan is beginning to accrue interest. In order to receive an unsubsidized loan, you have to complete a master promissory note and undergo entrance counseling, which explains the entire process of applying for a student loan, and those are both available at studentaid.gov. In addition to the unsubsidized loan, there's also the Graduate Plus loan, which is different than the Plus loan you may have received as an undergraduate student. Plus loan for an undergraduate student is for parents. Graduate students are able to borrow using the Plus loan without any parent information or without having any connection with the actual parent. It's available only to degree-seeking graduate students. Students are eligible to receive up to the cost of attendance. So basically the maximum amount that the school will be able to offer, the maximum amount of expenses that the school anticipates for the upcoming academic year, minus any other awards that the students already received. Does require a credit check, so you will be assessed for a credit check to see whether or not you're eligible. The interest rate for this current year is 5.3%. The loan fee rate is a little over 4%, and those rates change every year on October 1st. And that information will be disclosed to you in advance. Interest does begin accruing on those loans at the date that the loan is dispersed. So similar to the unsubsidized loan, as soon as that loan is placed on your student account, interest is starting to accrue on that loan. And then similar to the unsubsidized loan, you have to complete a master promissory note and entrance counseling at studentaid.gov. Wrapping up the process for federal direct loans, we like to go over the benefits of actually using the direct loan program. One, you receive a fixed interest rate. If you were looking for other loans from private lenders, you will usually see either a combination of fixed interest rates or variable interest rates, but the direct loans do have a fixed interest rate. There are various repayment options for students who borrow through the direct loan programs, which includes income-driven repayment plans, which will tailor the amount that you have to pay back your loan based off of the amount of income that you have for the year. That information is available at studentaid.gov/plans. You also have options to defer the loan until after you've graduated from the school, and in some circumstances beyond that point. In addition, they're also, the direct loans are also eligible for a number of loan forgiveness programs. Depending on what you may work in, you may have at least some or all of your loan forgiven. You can look up information about loan forgiveness programs at studentaid.gov/forgiveness. Lastly, for loan options, there also are private or alternative loans, as I mentioned prior. We recommend these as a last resort. This is part of the reason why we're giving emphasis to the federal direct loans. Private loans do require a credit check. There's a potential for having a variable interest rate. So your interest may be low now, but it may increase substantially later on. So that's why part of the reason why we recommend a fixed interest rate loan, which is available through the federal direct loan programs. Private loans may require a cosigner. The lender cannot be affiliated with either the federal government or with the university itself. We provide a website for you to be able to search for private loans that you may be eligible for that has a list of different lenders that you may be able to look through in order to find information about those loans. Those are available on our website at financialaid.lmu.edu/graduate/types of financial aid. Next, we'll talk about work study. So at LMU, students can earn between $2,000 to $3,200 per academic year for work study. Those students will have to find an on-campus or in some occasions off-campus jobs that will also allow work study to be used as a method of payment. Our students on average at LMU work somewhere between 8 to 10 hours per week. So if you're looking at potentially working at LMU under one of the work study programs, that's what you can anticipate on working on a weekly basis. Students earn a paycheck, and the paycheck can be applied towards tuition expenses or other expenses, as I mentioned prior. You can visit our student employment website for additional information about work study for graduate students, and that's available at studentaffairs.lmu.edu/activity/SES. Next, we'll talk about the estimated cost of attendance. So this is a general cost of attendance for graduate students for the upcoming academic year. So you can see the breakdown of the different components that are listed there. This is just an estimate of what the costs will be. The final costs have not been determined as of yet, but the final costs will be determined. We'll have that information available on our website. There is a breakdown by college also available on our website. If you go to financialaid.lmu.edu and look under aid info for graduate students, you can see the breakdown of cost of attendance. Your cost of attendance may be higher depending on the program of study and the number of units that you're enrolled. So this is just an estimate of how much the cost of attendance will be. And then lastly, we'll have a couple of helpful tips, things to remember, basically to submit your FAFSA as early as possible in order to be considered for financial aid for the upcoming year and for the maximum amount that you're eligible for. Make sure to check your email frequently. Most of the communications that you'll receive from our office and from the federal government or the state government, if you qualify for either of those awards, will come through email. We do ask that you register FinAid at lmu.edu with your spam checker to make sure to whitelist this so that you can receive emails that come from our department. We welcome you to ask questions and do your own research online, and do not hesitate to contact our office if you have any questions or concerns that you want to bring up to our office. As listed above, the email address is finaid@lmu.edu. With that, I will leave the contact information up for a few minutes, and then I will start to answer some of the questions that we have. And then if you have any additional questions, feel free to use the QA function on your device in order to go to any additional items that may have come up for you during this presentation. So first, what was the website to look for the cost of attendance? And I actually will just I will backtrack the information. It's available at financialaid.lmu.edu. There's a tab at the top to click for aid info, and then you would click for graduate students, and then you will see a page that has all of the information that I basically mentioned during this presentation, including the cost of attendance and the breakdown by college. So you can find that information out on that page. The next question we have is, for the work study program, is a student responsible to find an on-campus job? The answer is yes. So you will not be matched up with a job. You will not be assigned a job to work if you decide to utilize your work study funding. You have to seek a job on campus and apply for a job. The Student Employment Services website has the job listing information for all students. You're able to register your information. You're also are eligible to register and create a profile that'll make it easier for you to apply for jobs from different departments on campus. That'll have a breakdown of your resume, your cover sheet. You can include a picture and any other information that you want to promote yourself for a work study job on campus. Next question is, I'll provide the website for our to seek any information that I mentioned in any of these slides. You can go to our direct website at financialaid.lmu.edu. So basically the slide that's on the screen right now. If we submitted our FAFSA, how long does it take from LMU to receive it? So typically it takes the federal government 2 to 3 days to process the FAFSA, and then it takes 2 to 3 days for that information to be transferred to the school. So usually we receive it somewhere between 4 to 7 days. So it's usually somewhere between a week to a little over a week. And when I'm mentioning days, I actually mean business days. They don't submit that information or transfer that information over the weekend. Let's see. Can you clarify the amount available for the PLUS loan? Does it include cost of living cost of living as listed on the slide you presented on the estimated cost of attendance? So the PLUS loan, the graduate PLUS loan will allow students to receive up to the cost of attendance, depending on which college the student is planning to attend, minus any additional aid that the students receive. So basically the cost of attendance is the maximum amount that you'll be able to borrow minus any other aid that you've already received. That's the maximum amount you receive for the PLUS loan. Can you discuss LMU's participation in the Yellow Ribbon Program in conjunction with the GI Bill as a specific point of contact for LMU for prospective students seeking to fund education with GI Bill benefits? So LMU is a participant in the Yellow Ribbon Program, and LMU does offer Yellow Ribbon benefits to students who are eligible for Chapter 33, which is the standard chapter benefit program for students students who have either served in the military and or veterans who served for at least 3 years, or have parents or relatives who transfer that in, or the eligibility for veterans benefits to the student. The initial Chapter 33 benefit covers almost $25,000. So basically your first $25,000 of expenses would be covered by the Chapter 33 benefit. The remaining portion would be considered Yellow Ribbon. The remaining portion, LMU is eligible to offer, depending on which college you're planning to attend, $10,000 if you're doing the executive MBA program, $5,000 if you're in any other program or any other college at LMU, and then it's matched by that same amount from the Department of Veterans Affairs. The initial contact that you want to reach first is the Office of the Registrar for LMU in order to submit your documentation that you're eligible for veterans benefits. And then if you have questions about the veterans program from our office, you can simply send an email to finaid@lmu.edu, and the veteran coordinator or the person who's handling veteran coordinating right now will be able to contact you with any other information you may have about financial aid and the impact of receiving veterans benefits or the Yellow Ribbon Program, in addition to any other benefits you may receive. Let's see, next question. Do we have to apply for scholarships separately, or are we automatically considered for some while applying? You have to apply for scholarships separately. You have to go to the individual college that you're applying to in order to get the actual scholarship application for that particular college. And with that application, you can apply for scholarships and grants that are available for that college. Let's see. Let's say the website to register and look for jobs is the same as LMU as financial aid. No, so the in order to look for and register for jobs, you have to go to the Student Employment Services website. The information for that is available there. On LMU's financial aid website, we do have the listing and the link to Student Employment Services. So if you do go to our website, if you go to financialaid.lmu.edu, and you look up Aid Info for graduate students and look at work study, we do have a link there that goes directly to the Student Employment Services website, which has the information. It doesn't have the direct listing because you would have to already been admitted and have already committed or submitted your commitment deposit, or your, excuse me, your tuition deposit to the university to be eligible to see the jobs that are available. But you can see the basic information for work study jobs on that website. It looks like we have gone through all of the questions that have been asked. Thank you so much for your participation, for asking all of the questions, and for your attendance for today's webinar. There's one last question that came in, and I'll answer it real quick. Has there always been two different interest rates for loans? That got established, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago, where they actually, no, it was a little bit longer than that. They split the interest rates for the unsubsidized loan versus the graduate plus loan, where the interest rate is different between those two. The list of the remaining resource sessions are available on the screen here. The next group that will be speaking is the graduate students at LMU. So you're welcome to leave this web session and go to their web session if you're planning to attend and find out more information about the graduate students at LMU. And you have the remaining sessions that are available on the screen here. Thank you so much for viewing this webinar, for your participation, and for your questions today. Many thanks to Kathy, who's answered your questions while I was going through the entire presentation. On behalf of all of us at LMU Financial Aid, we hope that you enjoyed this presentation. We hope that you enjoy the Graduate Open House Week and you find all the information valuable. Feel free to contact our office, and I'll leave that slide up for another minute. If you have any questions, or if you want to reach out to our office, our phone lines are available between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific time, and it'll be Pacific Daylight Time starting on Sunday, Monday through Friday. So feel free to call our office or email our office if you have any questions or concerns. Once again, my name is Will Brooks. Thank you for joining today on behalf of LMU Financial Aid, and go Lions.